Good volume.
Okay. So, folks, welcome back to the Stony Creek and Poor Valley Railroad. I'm Bill. Today we are in Lebanon, Ohio with Bob Bartzik. Bob has a layout that he has been developing for quite some time. And so we're going to have him chat with us about his layout and show us some of the key features of it. So, Bob, tell us about your layout, what you've been doing, how long.
Okay. The layout, first stick of bench work went in October of 1996, so it's been a while. Keep working on it periodically all the time. I built most of it while I was working. I would spend an hour a day down here, just take an hour off from watching TV in the evening and come down and do something. And it feels like you're not getting a lot done, but over the course of a week or a month, all of a sudden things have happened. So the majority of it was completed that way.
That's awesome.
The different thing about this railroad is there aren't any loops. It's point to point.
Okay.
We operate it like a real railroad. There are staging yards behind the wall behind me that represent Pittsburgh and points west and Harrisburg and points east. So you depart from Harrisburg, you come into the layout room, you run 3 times around the room at different levels, and by the time you get to the other end, which is the other staging yard, you've run 550 feet, which is 5 scale miles in O scale. We do try to operate it like a real railroad. There are through trains that come through and drop off and pick up blocks of cars at the freight yard, and then the switcher assembles those cars that were dropped off to be delivered to the local industries. And a local train will come out and switch one or more of the local towns, deliver those cars, pick up others. The cars that they pick up go back to the yard, get sorted by the switcher, and they go into other through trains for delivery elsewhere to the world.
So with nearly 30 years of development here, what are some of the favorite features that you've got?
Oh boy. Well, scenically, the structures, particularly the roundhouse at the far end, and we'll take a look at that. I made a model of horseshoe curve and worked from lots of books. I had books spread out everywhere looking at photographs of it as it appeared in the early 1950s. My time period is 1949 to 53. So there's nothing newer than 53. There's quite a bit of stuff that's older than 49 because it can last for a while, but there's no new stuff to distract one. And most people don't notice that. Here and there is somebody that does notice it, and that's kind of what makes it fun.
And you open your home to people on a regular basis, I guess.
Yeah, I've had over 600 visitors from 42 states plus the District of Columbia, and 6 foreign countries have been here. I'm open for conventions. I've been open for the National Model Railroad Association, the Pennsy Historical Society, the C&O Historical Society. The Narrow Gauge Convention was here in town one year. Why they wanted a 3-rail standard gauge layout for a narrow gauge convention, I don't know, but they did. Everybody had a good time. And then the primary reason it exists is for operating, like I said, having that realistic switching going on. And I've hosted over 250 operating sessions. The first one was in September of 2002. So it took 6 years to get the railroad to the point where we could do that. But that's always a lot of fun. We get a minimum crew size of 9 and a maximum of 14. I had a local group here on whatever the first week in November was, I guess the 8th. And then I have had another group from Louisville, Kentucky came up to run. I've got a group from Indianapolis coming next week, and my local guys are coming again December 9th. So we operate it a couple times a month, and that keeps everything fresh.
That's fun. That's fun. So we'll pause here, and then as we're going around, we'll fire up as you describe various features.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
4464. You know what? Give it some more. These have all got 100-step decoders in them. So
Are we gonna have to watch that running into each other?
Nope.
Okay.
I'll take care of that when it's looking like you're gonna.
Try that one.
Yep.
That's one cool.
It's crawling. Give it some more. Nope, those are Fairbanks Morse Eerieville.
Oh, there.
Oh, that is cool. I love it. There is just so much going on inside that. Of the things you've done on the layout so far, what was the most challenging project?
Most challenging. Signal system.
The signal system. Okay. Yeah, because of all the coordination of everything.
That was complicated. I'll show you the control board for that in a minute.
That'll be cool.
Yeah, most of the stuff is, you know, it's pretty straightforward to do. You know, the trestle took some time. It was 6 weeks to build this part, and then another 2 weeks to do the 2 truss bridges. Those are kits. The trestle itself is scratch built out of poplar. I had the 1925 Pennsylvania Railroad Maintenance Away plans, so the wood is all scale size. These are 10 by 20s, those are 14 by 14, 12 by 12, 6 by 10, 3 by 10. One of the neighbors here in the development has a wood shop.
Right.
10 maybe. There's a speedometer on Horseshoe Curve, so when you get up there, it'll tell you which track you're on and how fast you're going. Wrought iron fence went in 1952. The locomotive was not put in until 56. No locomotive there, and the gift shop at the bottom was just a little wood structure. Not exactly that one, but I found that at a train show. It's close, so I put a Horseshoe Curve sign on it.
I'm not sure what you're saying about a locomotive.
There's a locomotive on display at the real Horseshoe Curve.
Oh, okay.
Today it's a diesel.
Gotcha.
In the 50s and 60s it was a K4 steam locomotive, but that was not installed till 1956.
Why did they change it out to K4 to a diesel?
They removed the K4 so they could run it.
Oh, okay, it's running.
They ran it on an excursion from like 1985 until 92-3, and then it developed a hot bearing, so they parked it, and it's under restoration today. I saw it a couple weeks ago, and the pace they're going, my grandkids have a chance of riding behind it.
I get it. Is Horseshoe Curve 4 tracks like that?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Not 180 degrees, it's about 193, 4. This is more than 180, but not as much as the real one has. That embankment would have been too steep.
came off their side of the road, so they're eating second 5 seconds where there's mom, so one train around.
You're going to need to stop at this signal.
All of them, no, I didn't tell you. Have you watched the signals? Stop, right?
Not listening.
These things go to sleep on their own, so if you don't do anything with them,
Okay.
they'll sleep. And turning the knob does not wake them up. Pushing any button does.
Okay.
So usually just toot the horn periodically, and it'll stay awake.
Sorry.
That's all right.
So when I need to stop the horn, push the brake button, stops.
Well, if you hit the brake button, it'll slow down and eventually stop. But if you release the brake button, it'll speed back up to the speed it was going. So you really want to use the knob. When we operate, working.
So like you have an engineer.
Well, that would be one train crew is an engineer, but there are 5 trains out on the line somewhere.
So
Either switching, yeah, and then there's a dispatcher, there's a yard master, a yard switcher, and
Sounds like
an
a
engine
lot.
hostler all in the yard.
That sounds like a lot.
So it's
It's one big.
so there it is going forward. If I hit the direction button, the backup light on the tender will come on, and the next time I give it power.
Now, this guy's a 210-4, so what was that class name?
That was a J1.
J1. Okay.
That was built during World War II. It was a Chesapeake and Ohio design. The government didn't let anybody design any new steam locomotives and kind of experiment with them during the war. They had to use proven designs. Pennsy needed a big steam locomotive, so they tested a Norfolk and Western J. They tested a Norfolk and Western Class A 2664, and they tested a C&O 210-4. They liked the C&O, so they got the plans for it. Put a Pennsy cab on it. This little swoop window opening is distinctive Pennsy.
Okay.
Late 40s and early 50s. Put a Pennsy boiler front with a high headlight. C&O's headlight was centered on the boiler. And other than that, it's the C&O locomotive.
So would that be considered a USRA?
Nope, USRA was World War I.
Oh, okay. Okay.
World War II, the government didn't build any locomotives in World War II. They just decreed that railroads had to use existing designs for anything that they were building.
And I was just talking with some of the folks yesterday about that. One thing that's very distinctive now is that nobody is developing a railroad-specific locomotive anymore. Everything is reduced down to standardized needs.
Yeah, Pennsy had, well, in steam locomotive days, you would order a locomotive for a specific job, for a specific purpose. And when Pennsy started to dieselize, they did the same thing. If a locomotive was going to run in a real hilly area, a diesel, they'd get dynamic brakes on it. If it was going to run mostly in the flats, they would have no dynamic brakes. If it was going to be passenger power or backup power for a passenger train, they'd order it with a steam generator. If not, no steam generators. They had 121, I think, RS3s. There were 31 variations of them. So finally, in the mid-50s, they realized diesels can do almost anything. If you get the right equipment on them, they can do any job. So they ordered 325, I think, GP9s from Electromotive, and that was the end of the steam locomotives when those GP9s came in, and they just used them on everything. The local would get one GP9. Some of the big through freights might have 6 or 7 of them on the point, because you could just tack as many on as you needed. You'll be on this outside track. When you get opposite that locomotive, you can Stop. And it'll take a while. That room is, the camera doesn't look like it, but that room is 18 feet deep, so.
Oh, so I'm pretty much like sitting for about.
He's going to do the same thing on the bottom. He'll come in over here and go all the way around. It's about in the middle of that straightaway. He'll stop. Then we'll run the fun stuff. You'll see.
What's the fun stuff?
Yeah, this is okay.
I like that.
Built most of the layout while I was working. Spend an hour a night down here working here and still watching TV. Everybody can find an hour. And it doesn't feel like you need to up your cat.
Really cool.
I took a photo from here of after I had detailed some of the Roundhouse and showed my old turntable in here, which was came off a 2-rail layout. It was scratch built by a guy back in the 40s, and the mechanism had crapped out, so we just turned it by hand. And I got an email from Al, who runs Millhouse. He says, "I see you still on it." So he custom built one for me. And it is fantastic. Well, let me talk about that after we get this going. I'll explain the whole thing.
Yeah, let's video this because he's explaining something. So you've had me stop here.
Yep, so you've stopped there.
Oh, this is the bringing in the helper engine. Awesome.
And now we've got the helper we need to bring out.
Liam. Yeah, there.
Cabin car walks down and throws the switch.
You gotta.
Mild alignment problem.
All
Okay.
right, so now we just take yours and go on to train 1. And you've got them both.
All right.
Now we can go over to the other side. And you want to speed up, because what's going to happen is you go into that tunnel and then you go around an 072 curve and start up a 3.5% grade. And we don't want.
Very good.
Now where's our passenger train? Passenger train. Where? And when you get down about opposite that locomotive,
Nice.
you stop for a minute. We're bringing a freight train up.
We got a helper at the tail end, so this is doing fine getting up the hill.
Be a little while before you get there.
Because we got it balanced just right that this guy's doing a decent speed. He's not stalling.
And you'll be able to tell, if you look at the couplers, you can see where the spot is. So that's still being pulled right there. That's compression.
Ah,
So So the helper is
Helping all the way.
doing those 6 cars, and the lead locomotive is doing the front 7.
That's really cool.
You've been there? No, I mean, you've been to the Horseshoe Curve. I mean, to be on the road and watch the trains go around. That's it. Go there with it, pouring out rain.
Yes. Yes. So he did. Yeah. So we got a lash up of those 2. So they're operating as one train.
Oh, you're doing it?
Yeah.
Have you ever done that? Have you ever done that? A lash up on your layout?
One time.
Yeah.
One on the front, one on the back?
They double headed.
I did.
You-
That's
yeah.
all I had.
Yeah.
I got tried on that.
Yeah. He set us up with a helper lash up there, and he showed how you could see where in the train was the difference of which engine was doing what work based on whether you were pulling or compressing the coupler.
Excuse me. You know, my animal, I guarantee you, legacy. If you tire the business, it doesn't push your helper, and you will not derail it. Because
Now, see, the
the
lead train is now on a downgrade, so it's pulling away. And I took the latch out of
Yeah.
the front coupler
Yeah.
on that engine, so they won't couple together. Early on, I coupled them together. It was a pain in the neck to get them uncoupled. And this way, it pushes when it needs to, and when it gets to the... Okay, the freight train. Come up about another car length.
Another car link? You got it.
That's good.
That switch.
Okay.
Lights